Just as predicted, Justin Trudeau is losing out hardcore by not granting the rest of Canada carbon tax carve-outs. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself and having a wonderful day today. Somebody who's not having a wonderful day today is Justin Trudeau. And we're going to get into a little bit of how not granting carbon tax carve-outs to the rest of the country is beginning to hurt the Prime Minister in more ways than one. People say, well, look, he's done. I know this isn't another one of those he's done videos, but I wanted to talk about this because I've talked often about the channel how this was the start of the end for not only carbon tax, but the unwinding and unbinding of Trudeau's legacy, as people, again, were going to use this to push him out of office. And I believe, again, that this was the nail in the coffin for him and one of the few scandals he's going to skate away from. Now, while it's not necessarily as big a scandal that I would call as SNC-Lavalin or the Kielburgers, this is definitely a scandal of sorts because we all know that the carbon tax is a scam. Now, before we get into that, I just wanted to remind everybody here that I've really appreciated all of your support when it comes to buying our books independently online. And I know you guys are sick and tired of me mentioning our books on stream and or on video, plugging our pages, but I just wanted to drop this for anybody interested in ordering our books for the future, for Christmas. You can buy them direct at unacceptablefringebooks.com. There is a link below in the description. I've been told that as of Friday, December the 8th, that is the cutoff period for Canada-wide guaranteed shipping for books to arrive by Christmas. Orders after the 8th may arrive in time, but now is the time to place those orders if you guys have been waiting. I'm also running out of supply, and getting more supply replenished is going to be harder as the Christmas season gets closer towards Christmas Day, as companies like Amazon are backed up. So I more or less wanted to put this out as a public service announcement for anybody who was looking to pick up our properties for Christmas. Keep in mind that all the prices on unacceptablefringebooks.com does include free Canada-wide shipping, as well as every book you purchase signed by myself. And it's probably the best way to support our channel moving forward. That way we don't have any kind of suppression from Amazon. We don't have any shadow banning from YouTube. And it goes to helping further our projects in the future. So if you're wanting to give those out, and I know a lot of people have told me they are, this is the time to pick them up, and I hope you guys enjoy them. Now on to what we have to talk about, which is real news, and that's Justin Trudeau. Again, his refusal to grant the carbon tax relief and what this means. Now, I wanted to cover this article from the Calgary Herald. Because, again, this is an Alberta-based article, and while Don Braid is usually somebody who kind of flip-flops in terms of how he views his politics, he has a very good point in this article where he says Trudeau is now completely isolated on carbon tax relief as he's attacked by the NDP, Conservatives, and First Nations. Now, this is, again, where when I've talked about this, people often said, nah, he's going to skate past this. Justin Trudeau is going to get over this. It's not going to affect him. He skates through everything else. This is where I beg to differ. Anytime you look at a scandal like the We Charity scandal and the Kielburgers, even things like the ArriveCan app and the inquiry that's going in there, which is blowing up lately in terms of money being siphoned to government officials and those linked to the governments to pad pockets. This is one of those situations where, again, it actually affects people's wallets directly. And as people start to struggle, especially going into the Christmas season, it's going to be interesting to see that this is sometimes one of those things that people don't forget, especially when they can't afford groceries, when they can't afford to pay their mortgages that are over $3,000 a month, when they can't afford to live. This is a major, major stake in their lives, and one that, well, is going to be interesting to see what, again, unravels for Justin Trudeau. The carbon tax continues to unravel here at home, just as hundreds of Canadians arrive for climate talks in Dubai. Of course, Premier Danielle Smith was over there promoting Canadian oil and gas. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau isn't at the COP28 meetings. Maybe that's wise. No leader wants to miss out on his own coup. Countrywide, both Conservative and NDP leaders demand carbon tax relief on all forms of home heating, not just heating oil. Now, while the NDP have their coalition with the Liberals, the reason why, again, I think this is the unwinding is one of the things I mentioned before. Their constituents are the ones that keep them in their seats. And if they don't push back against Justin Trudeau and say, well, you offered carve-outs to these people, you have to give them to everybody, those people stand to lose their seats. And while the writing's already on the wall that Justin Trudeau is essentially finished in his job as Prime Minister of Canada, come whenever the next election is, whether it's this next year or 2025, The rest of these constituents could lose their pensions and their seats if they don't show a little bit of, pressure against the Liberal government. So it says here, um, the governing Liberals refuse. Already deeply unpopular, they're completely isolated on this pocketbook issue. Trudeau was asked Thursday what he'll do when Saskatchewan stops collecting carbon tax on natural gas for home heating. The cutoff date is January 1st. Premier Scott Moe has backed up the boycott with legislation. Canada is a country in rule of law, Trudeau said, and we expect all Canadians to follow that law that applies to provinces as much as it applies to individual citizens. Now, where I have a little bit of a bone to pick when it comes to that claim is, well, the Trudeau Liberals haven't followed any laws. In fact, while Danielle Smith just recently got out of the federal court by being told that not only was the No More Pipelines bill unconstitutional and unjustified, but so was the plastics ban. While the Liberals still say they're going to find ways around it, they're going to find ways to fight back against it, especially here in Calgary, even where our Liberal failed Mayor Jyoti Gondek has gone above and beyond that. Even though the plastics ban has been overturned, she has said that Calgary itself, since she has jurisdiction, will not only uphold the plastics ban, but make it worse and even pound harder, as she called out her climate emergency first thing when she walked into office. It's going to be interesting to see if Danielle Smith has any kind of pushback when it comes to that. But, while my wife has said, what are we going to do? Because I'm sick of paper straws, I'm sick of wooden cutlery, I've just simply told her there's small towns outside of Calgary that are a 20-minute drive away. We can simply go there and pick up our plastic utensils, and we won't support any Calgary businesses. And maybe that will show the mayor just what kind of damage they're doing. The cutoff date is January 1st. Premier Scott Moe has backed up the boycott with legislation, as we said earlier. Only last week, Premier Danielle Smith accused Trudeau of being the only leader to run a lawless government. The word is harsh, but there's truth to the allegation. Again, they're not following their own laws. The Fed recently lost 2 major court cases, as I mentioned earlier, over Impact Assessment Act and in the Supreme Court, and a federal court ruling on single-use plastics. They show no willingness to change what they do. The Liberals just talk vaguely about tinkering with the laws. This allows them to carry on as usual while waiting for the provinces to challenge them again. Moe's government has every right to give directives to Saskatchewan's crown corporation, Sask Energy. The new provincial law also protects executives and employees from federal persecution. Now, the courts may say someday that he acted illegally. If so, he has a fine federal example of how to proceed. Don't worry about the little things like court rulings, just motor on. All of this started when Trudeau lifted the carbon tax from the home heating fuel, a move that mainly benefited Atlantic Canada. Liberal MPs and ministers pressured Trudeau personally and admitted it. The floodgates swung wide. Calls to remove the tax from all home heating fuel erupted from the federal NDP and NDP leaders in Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. Now, I will push back on that one a little bit, as in Alberta, former Premier Rachel Notley, or as I called her, the Sheriff of Nottingham, she kind of doubled back. She's flip-flopped multiple times on that issue, where she said we should have carbon cutouts. Then she went back and says, well, no, we should support the federal government. And then she came back to saying, no, we should have the carve-outs because, well, Jagmeet Singh is her boss. And this just shows you how fake they are. But it also shows why the NDP are overtaking the Liberal in polling right now. And it turns out that the Liberals are probably going to be a minority party here in Canada when it comes time for the next election. I'll be curious to see just how many seats they can land as this clown show continues. But Danielle Smith, of course, coming out and using the Sovereignty Act to stand up to the federal government, while Scott Moe says he's going to completely stop collecting carbon tax as of January. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens in the new year, and it's always going to bring a smile to my face as we talk about it closer to Christmas, and makes the holidays a little bit brighter for me, just knowing that Justin Trudeau is going to be very upset come the new year when he has to fight provinces on the taxes collected. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think that this is going to affect Justin Trudeau? Do you think that this is the unwinding, as I say? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Again, it helps the algorithm. Make sure to like, share, do all the usual YouTube stuff. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're clicking that bell to subscribe, you click the bell for notifications. So we're currently being a little bit of shadow banned here on the platform. As you click your bell, you'll be notified every time our content goes live throughout the weeks, Monday to Friday. And join us live here on the the channel every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time when we do the weekly wrap and go over everything we talked about in the week prior, everything happening in the week ahead, and a little bit of back and forth with the community. I always enjoy talking to you guys outside of making these videos and get to know you on a personal level, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. I hope you guys have yourselves a great rest of your day and enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one.